that's what's going to make you into a warrior. Any guy can carry around a gun, but a warrior is built in the mind.
Maybe you're not like me. Maybe we don't agree. Maybe that doesn't mean.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Firestarters episode
65.
65.
Yes. As you guys can see, we got Matthew back, boys.
I'm finally back. It's good.
Your eyes are really red.
I know. It's because I'm sick. I still have this.
He's been getting high. College has
before
had
this.
that effect on people.
This is what college does to people.
Yeah.
So, speaking of college, Matthew,
Yes, Luke.
what have you changed as a person?
Yeah, this is probably the time in my life where I've experienced the most change.
Okay.
Out of everything,
Yeah.
it's just been this 4 months since I've been gone.
Because a lot of things have changed, right? You're not home. You're not in the place in the valley where you usually are.
Nope.
You're around. You don't have the usual friends that you had. Your parents aren't there.
Large community,
Yeah.
from really small community, trying to branch out, meet whole new friends.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest things going into college was I realized how great our group was up here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the big things I really missed going into it. But as for how I transitioned into it, I went into college thinking, yes, this is going to be the best thing ever. I'm going to meet a whole bunch of new people, and it's going to be great. And then I quickly realized that was not what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
The classes I took were horrible. I ended up dropping them. And the people I met, a lot of the people I met, there was no connection that really lasted the first few weeks. So you'd meet a ton of new people, and then it would just be a quick conversation. Yeah, let me get your Snapchat. You never talk to them again.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at old photos of all of us, and that really did not help anything, because then I just got more sad. I'm like, what am I doing here even?
Uh-huh.
So then I started making lists, like, what are my alternatives? Do I go to do I even stay in college?
Wow. So you're like thinking about leaving, essentially.
Yeah. And I eventually was able to, find an idea of what to do. And that was to stay in the college.
Okay.
Because I was talking to my mom at dinner one night, and she's like, Matthew, what you believe in, you're not going to give up. You're not supposed to give up. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I didn't give up, and I was talking with my dad, talking to people who would just really lifted me up, and I was able to trust in God, because that was one of the big things I learned. And you hear it all the time, but I think it's really important if you actually implement it into your life, because so many of us don't actually do that, but trust in God, because He will truly, define your path for you.
That's cool.
So
when we talk about change, and you say you've gone through change, are you talking about changes like mentally, or what kind of change are you talking about? You think change for the good, for the bad? Have people tried to change you for something you don't want to be changed into?
change for the good.
Okay.
Because He's called to because I feel a life that's called to be me to be a leader. So my whole idea of what I want to do in the future just totally flipped.
Okay.
Because
like as far as career goes, or just
career-wise,
okay.
I wanted to go into college, and I wanted to take this program called Integrative Physiology, which it's a whole bunch of biology, chemistry, and it would result in you becoming, like, you could be, a lot of kids went into pre-med with it.
Okay.
And
so kind of like almost a doctor situation almost, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I quickly dropped that, and then now I'm taking 6 credit hours.
I don't know what that means, but...
It means I'm taking one class, and it's a Vikings class.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So like on Northern mythology, or like just
all of that.
All Viking stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You guys look thrilled right now.
Matthew and Aiden and Jonah do you guys sleep or what? What's going on? But okay, I'm going to try to connect this, but I remember Jonah saying like Matthew's hating school. Like, well, I kind of told him so. And also, but then Jonah also said Matthew's not going to change his beliefs, and he's going to stand firm in what he believes in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all believed and had faith in you. You were going to do that because we just know who you are.
Attaboy, Matthew.
And I did.
First 4 months are down, baby. Let's go.
A great analogy I heard was Charlie, my college counselor. I was talking to him about it, and he just goes, "Matthew, do you remember last year when you got a new ski boot?" I go, "Yeah, it hurt really bad." I was
no,
on
new
the
ski boots are the
verge
worst. It's
of
torture.
Tears. He goes, "College is the same way. It's gonna hurt like hell the first however long, but then you're slowly gonna get more comfortable with it."
years.
But no, I've started
Every
to
day
feel,
until graduation.
I started to feel more comfort, and I think one of the harder things for a Christian in college is,
It's getting close to the mic.
right here.
Oh,
But I think one of the hardest things is trying to deal with the party scene, because college is pretty much Pleasure Island.
Okay, well, you
especially at
chose
CU.
like I think, what is it ranked? It might be the 9th biggest party school in the nation.
I did. But it's a great school.
For Viking classes.
For Viking class, Viking class is great. But
I still want Matthew to come back and do college here.
no,
so
I
that he's
chose
closer.
the school because my parents went there, and I just love the school. I've been going there ever since I was a kid. And a lot of connections there. And I'm just right next to the mountains. I don't know
You're
anywhere.
close to the mountains here.
I'm talking about a college, Jonah.
Yeah, CMC. That's a college. Hey,
With the community
I
in
might.
front.
Community college gets dogged on so much. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I got a good professor. She's smart,
Mhm.
and I get to live at at home, and I still can see my friends that I had here.
Have
Have
you had them?
I did, and then
so let's talk about the party scene a little bit more, Matthew. Have you seen people that go in as or like that were seemingly steadfast Christians and kind of just like got derailed,
Not steadfast Christians, but
claiming?
is this good distance, Aiden?
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
Not steadfast Christians, but a lot of kids who went in with helicopter parents and were pretty much coddled for the whole part of their lives. And then they go in and then they're like, whoa, I'm free. I am free. So then they're getting drunk every weekend with all their friends who are bad influences, especially a lot of the engineering kids.
Hey, how was Halloween?
I sat in my room and watched a movie.
How was Halloween for everyone else?
okay. So according to niche.com,
Oh my gosh.
Colorado Boulder is top 25 in the nation.
Is it really?
It's number 25
In school-wise?
college wise.
How many colleges are there in the nation?
Like probably a gazillion.
4,000 something.
So I guess that is pretty high up there.
Yeah. So it's a great school. There's
It has
great
an A+
programs
rating for party scene
there. It
on
does.
this website.
My friend just sent a video of him getting a nose piercing last night,
Because he got drunk.
which is, yeah. So, but I was actually able to find a Christian group at the school.
So how'd you go about that? Because all the people I talk to that are Christians are like, I can't find a church. I can't find.
Mm-hmm.
How did you manage?
Well, it's actually, when you hear the story, you go, okay, Matthew, that sounds like a cult guy, because he came up to be on his bike.
So you're talking about a kid.
No. He's the Kyle of Boulder, but Kyle's better. I love Kyle.
How old is this guy?
Probably, I think he's a little older than Kyle, maybe about the same age.
30s, 25.
They look
Okay.
pretty similar, too.
Youth group leader vibe or what?
Totally. Totally. So he's just been inviting me out to a lot of stuff. He's invited me out to rock climbing, and there's some other good guys that are my age that go with him in that group. So it's good to have that other group, because my friends that are just at the school that I knew before, and then we kind of expanded upon our group. I love those guys, but they're such a bad influence on me. I don't like hanging around with them on the weekends, because they're always out partying, and I just can't hang around it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you don't have like that like Christian aspect to it or whatever, every time we move, the camera moves. That's gonna be fun.
Don't move.
Like if you don't have like that Christian like thing, like pretty much like those like morals is like who tells you not to party? It's like your parents. Like
It's just me.
yeah, it's like
just
if
me.
you don't have that Christian background, there's really nothing stopping you.
Exactly.
The world tells you, dude, you're so sick.
Mm-hmm.
You went out and partied last night. You got a nose piercing, bro.
Yeah.
What a bender.
It just sounds to me like Matthew doesn't know how to have fun.
That's like that's like a comment that I've heard before. Like, I'm not encouraging you guys to go to this party, you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, it sounds like someone doesn't know how to have fun. Like, we're just trying to have fun, Aiden.
Yeah.
And I never know what to say because, like, I mean,
But there's plenty.
I'm all
ways.
about fun.
There's
I'm a fun
plenty
guy.
of ways to have fun with
I'm a
that.
fun-loving, whimsical guy.
I can't, but I don't know. I can't, like, I don't know. I can't encourage.
We, knowing the morals and the truth of the world, can't have fun while sinning.
You
Right?
can have fun while playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just sit in my room all day.
2022.
Mhm. But
Have you been
Minecraft.
tempted in any sense? You think?
Ooh, he's hesitating.
there's definitely a thing that's telling me, why not just join in sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's that other part of me that goes, that's what everybody's doing, and I want you to be set apart.
Amen, brother.
So that's the voice I try to follow.
Dangerous game there, Aiden. Just whip the camera
Take-
off.
Just take the camera off with it.
So do you go to church on Sundays then in college? Is there a church you found or?
Yeah, so the ministry guy I met, he goes to this one church, but typically most Sundays I'm pretty busy with
Okay.
whether that be my parents are in town, so I mean breakfast with them. But
Yeah.
I've gone a few times. It's nice.
Going to watch your football team lose. Talk about that score, man. 50-10.
We don't need to talk about that right now, John.
If you guys didn't know, CU Boulder's one of the worst. Currently, they used to be okay. They used to be pretty good. They were always
In
Yeah, it's
2016 we were good, and then in like 2000 we were good.
yeah.
It's been a good 20 years since we've been a solid team.
So
Nice.
Matthew
But
has a game
that-
pass and just watches his team get
Mhm.
blown out like 10-50
Yeah,
every game.
let's move on. Let's move.
All right. I want to switch over to Aiden and Jonah because you guys are really close with Matthew, and so am I, but you guys like would hang out all the time and stuff. So what does it feel like when someone you hang out with almost every weekend or week just like leaves?
I feel like he's just gone in Hawaii for like an extended
long
period of time, and then he just comes back every once in a while. It's it's like really weird.
I feel like he's not gone. It's just instead of seeing him every day at school, I have to see him like once every few weeks.
Mhm.
And I never like really saw him at school, so it's just like Matthew just doesn't want to hang out as much anymore.
Exactly. It feels
We'll
like
see
it
him
feels like
every
he's
once in
distant,
a
even though
while.
it's not personal at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Like for me, like it's not like I would see him any other time than when we would like plan to hang out. So yeah.
Nice.
It does feel kind of weird at school because I'm the senior now, and I don't know. Matthew was like the glue. He was like the one glue friend, where like, if y'all don't know, I think the glue is like a friend archetype where it's like,
In gaming terms.
Here
No.
we go.
no, it's not. It doesn't have to be a gaming term.
I actually modeled
glue.
my tarnished in Elden Ring after Matthew.
The glue is a friend archetype that usually owns the hangout spot or curated it, and like is the one that invites people to do things all the time. And so without Matthew, I don't really hang out with like Robbie or Jonah that often.
It's because we don't really have anywhere to go or anything to do.
Exactly,
Like,
because
we'll go to
Matthew
the
is the
gym together every
yeah,
once
because
in a while.
Matthew is the curator of the hangout spot.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here, boys?
Where do we go?
Kyle was supposed to be here, but he said he was going to be late because
He's pretty late.
his child's having a breakdown. And I'm like, yeah, they do that.
Especially that model.
That serial number has a tendency to break down.
What's your goal, Matthew? So you're not doing that doctor stuff, or are you still doing that, or?
Doctor.
Doctor stuff. No, I'm not.
You were gonna be a personal trainer, right? Or that was
I had
like a-
that.
that was
I
like
had that
an
idea.
idea,
in mind. Yeah.
So now you're gonna be a Viking scholar?
No.
or
You're gonna
what's
be a
the-
Viking.
I'd be working in a Starbucks after college for 20 years. But
Hey
no,
man, while I talk to you about while you're waiting for your frappuccino, did you know that Leif Erikson actually discovered him?
but if I have 2 goals set out for me right now that I've placed in my life, just talking with God and talking with my parents and mentors. And that is, tomorrow I have tryouts for the Ralphie handler. So that's basically the people that run the buffalo down the field.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's sweet.
Do I get to see you on TV?
You could. Very well could.
Oh, I'm so excited, Matthew.
So
you
I-
have to
I
try
really-
your best. You have to try your best.
I've been doing my sprints.
Some cardio.
So we'll see how that turns out. I really hope I can make it.
Is it a full 100 yards?
So actually Monday's a mobility, and then the following Saturday, I do 3 100-meter time sprints. So
Because you got to be able to
mhm.
move pretty quick to keep up
You-
with that buffalo.
You got to move pretty quick, and especially when that buffalo gets a little older. She runs fast.
And they're like 1.8 tons.
No, they don't get that. Male buffaloes would, but female buffaloes, Ralphie 5, they had to retire her. She got like 1,500 pounds. She was big girl. Big girl. And then goal number 2, I want to join ROTC. So I'd be going in the military after college as an officer
That's a buffalo handler.
and a buffalo handler. And
That's a
Right
pretty
now I'm-
dramatic shift right there.
it is, but the second goal, that is something I've been thinking about probably for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was just about now until it's like, okay, I want to implement this into my life.
Yeah.
So I've been deciding between either Army or Navy.
Okay.
And then it's actually, I thought you had to sign something. You just take a class for it freshman year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's easy. But then you have to commit after that.
What are you doing on ROTC?
They,
Aren't they the dudes that kind of like throw the guns around? Like spins and stuff?
I think you might get taught that. You get taught formation and all your foundation stuff. A lot of it's based on leadership. So you go in and you become an officer afterwards. But you can do any role in the military. You just an officer. So I forget what the actual rank is called, but you could be anywhere from infantry to Navy SEAL.
Okay, so it's just like an intro almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Like when we all think about our goals, right? Like I think about me. My short-term goals are to make money, to pay for things, and shoot cool videos. And
Okay, when he says that, a really funny story pops into my
Jonah
Luke-
roasts Luke section of the podcast. There
Yeah.
we go.
This is a great story. Luke came back home. From, he was filming a video for school, and then it was dinner time, and it was his turn to pray. And he's like, "Lord, thank you for the school I was able to shoot today." And he didn't even notice at first. I was sitting there and he was finishing his prayer.
This is true. This is true.
Thank you for the school I shot.
It was like a preschool too.
I think my exact words were, "God, please bless the school I was able to shoot today."
And no one noticed it. And I think my mom kind of noticed. She was like,
Yeah.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
I'm trying to make the bread by shooting schools and shooting stuff. That's like a short-term goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's my long-term goal? And when I think of it, I'm like, okay, I want to hone my skill set enough to be able to sustain myself just like living and being able to make money, but I also want to like be able to do things that impact people in a greater way. And I want to do things for the kingdom. That's what I tell myself. But then I feel like I just kind of find myself in this motion and grind of me just doing something, and like it just keeps going, and it's like hard to like get to that ultimate like I really feel like I'm doing something purposeful now. So I want to ask you guys, like, do you guys have any like goals and stuff, and then like how does that relate to, because like in when we're in church, people ask us like, well, what's your purpose, right? And we're always like, oh, well, our purpose is
bring people to God.
Yeah, we want to be soul. What was the name that the guy used one time?
Soul winners.
Soul winners. Like that's I guess like the broad ultimate goal. But do you guys think about like narrowing that down? Like what your specific role is in that? Because like I don't know, I feel like a lot of people our age struggle with that.
I want to be a teacher, like a history teacher. Probably at the high school level or middle school. I probably wouldn't be able to deal with elementary schoolers. And I wouldn't want Luke shooting them either.
Bro, someone's gonna like cut this podcast up.
Luke wants to shoot a.
Yeah.
Okay, so teaching. What do you want to teach though? Because like I feel like that's pretty important to figure out.
History.
What, any specific time period, or just history in general?
I like ancient, medieval, Renaissance. I don't like modern history that much.
So funny like idea.
And I don't like learning about American history or Asian history. I like European and
Okay.
African stuff. Those are fun.
So like when Kanye West says we shouldn't be teaching history in class, what do you think? I'm
Why do you say
excited.
that?
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
Because he only wants to teach like essentially engineering in school. He wants to only teach things that are factual and like you can't really debate
Useful
it.
now.
Yeah, and like not things that, because he says like history is told by the victors only, right? And
That's the biggest lesson Call of Duty gaming ever taught me. Is history is written by the victor. I didn't really know that at first.
but I personally think history is important to learn, right? And I want to hear, because you want to be a teacher of history, so I want to hear what your response to that would be.
A
Like
comeback.
because
Let me ask you this: have you, Luke, because you think history should be taught, have you ever used history to your advantage in your day-to-day money breadwinning life?
I have.
when you
Not
look,
asking you, Aiden.
I mean, if you break it down, the Bible essentially is history, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
teaching that's obviously helped me in everyday life. But I think to answer your question, like the 48 laws of power, that's all history, right?
Yeah.
That has taught me so many life lessons and so many, not life lessons, it's given me, I think, more perspective on a lot of things that I have happened.
Yeah, but that
in my
has
life.
context behind it. Like the 48 laws of power is something drastically different from then.
But doesn't
just,
everything have
like,
context behind it?
learning about Lewis and Clark.
That's true. But knowing where you come from is very important, I think. Knowing what motivated, what morals brought you
Well,
to
yeah, I think
where
obviously
we are.
that's true, but would it be like a place where no one knows any history, or like just some people decide to learn it and you were just like, no?
That's a good question. I mean, I think everyone should learn a basic understanding to know where they're from and what America was founded on.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessarily to
I
learn
agree.
like every single date and like understand everything, unless you want to, of course.
I'm not opposed to teaching history. I actually really enjoyed history. It was like one of my favorite subjects. The only thing I could like really focus on. I really like the brutal stories and stuff.
Mhm.
Much
Yeah.
rather listen to that than like math,
Yeah.
algebra stuff, whatever.
I like.
How deep of an education, like historically, do you think people should get, Aiden?
What do you mean?
Like how much history should you know as a person?
How
much Earth lore do you need to know?
The lore of Earth. Well, for a faithful person, it's important to know Bible lore.
Of course.
And for any person, for any smart person, I should say, it's important to know your family lore. I like using the word lore.
I don't know what that word means, but I
It's
understand.
like background history. Is there like what's the definition of lore?
I'm gonna look it up right now. You
That's it.
keep talking. I'm
I'm
faster.
I'm honestly
A body of traditions and knowledge on a subject or held by a particular group, typically passed from person to person by word of mouth.
so verbally passed on knowledge. or
Tall
something.
tales. But not really. I don't know.
Yeah, I think your family history is important for any individual. And I also think, I don't know. I like history because it's fun. I don't really have like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
too tired to give like a really smart explanation as to why learning history is important. But
I mean, obviously
I
one
know
of the
I know there is one. But
obviously, one of the biggest reasons people always bring up is like to know what will happen in the future, essentially, right?
Yeah,
Or-
'cause history repeats
you can
itself.
you can use it to predict the future.
so I like that history repeats itself, but I think it's more accurate when you say history doesn't repeat itself; it rhymes.
Mhm.
That's a good, yeah.
Um,
I think history is important to understand, or important to know, so you can understand, what's going on right now. It's like
mhm.
there's something in history where it's like, okay, this is what, or this. I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know. I like to compare where we are right now in America to like the fall of Rome and like starting to get there, because like
Yeah.
Rome died from the inside out. It didn't die from people attacking it from the outside. That's how it did die, but like it got weak because
Mhm.
the inside started to
That's
rot.
that's a
essentially.
good point. And what I've heard a lot from people is that America, like you said, is rotting from the inside, just like ancient Rome did. And all these great empires in the past have all fallen.
You know what I find interesting? And this kind of goes back to like history is written by the victor kind of thing. But like, how do you fact check history? Like, how do you know it's true? Because like Caesar crossing the Rubicon, I'm pretty sure there's like one tablet or something where it says like Caesar crossed the Rubicon. Or piece of
That's
paper,
if
scroll,
there's
whatever.
if there's one
It's just, like-
tablet, you got to cross reference it.
But you can't because there's no more. There's like
If there's only
4
one,
dudes that were able to write.
sometimes
And like these guys were like kind of half crazy. So how do you know like Alexander and his horse story where the shadow's scared of the horse, and then he turns it around and then it's not scared of the shadow anymore. Like it was like maybe the dude was like, look at this, I'm gonna write something funny, and then people found it and they're like, wow, that's a true story.
We did an exercise in ancient to medieval history a couple years ago where after looking at this old like archaeological site where we were able to deduce that these Homo sapiens ate these Neanderthals or whatever, pretty interesting stuff. We did this thing where it was like a part of a book where there was like a bathroom and future archaeologists like dug up the bathroom and they like got everything wrong. Like they thought the toilet was like a thing for ritual and they would like bow to the toilet or whatever. And then the paper towel was like face ointment. They would like face cloth or something.
Yeah, like how do we know that all this stuff is true?
Exactly.
Like some like exactly like Aiden was saying, it's like
So
You don't
yeah,
worship
the
the
important
toilet.
the important thing to remember is that skepticism is a really useful tool.
yeah,
Like it's not a bad thing to doubt everything.
in my Vikings class. I want to relate this back to my Vikings class.
Also, I want to apologize for everyone to seeing the Jonah and Aiden camera. It's very shaky. So,
Our hands are on the table and the camera is also mounted on the table. So whenever we like
Yeah.
touch the table,
but also,
it moves.
Matthew, sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
Yeah,
Vikings.
Luke,
Vikings.
Vikings. So what we learn in our Vikings class, and we do this every week, we get a piece of writing, and then we have to critically think about that. It's like, okay, what's real in here?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? And how does this relate to this other source? Because some sources, some things match. So let's say this source had this, for example, this source had this piece about a wagon. And then 800 years later, there's another piece about the same type of wagon. So we can come to a pretty solid conclusion. It's like, okay, these people probably had some sort of wagon ritual. So I think that's important in history. And important in life is just critically think about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Bible sometimes.
Mhm.
what if the Nazis won World War II? And then
Einstein.
because they won, they can like, because they're the victors, they can now write history.
That's true.
So then they're like, hey man, these Jewish people just had a really weird ritual where they all just went to these closed off areas and
Mhm.
didn't eat.
Well, they would have no point. Maybe in the future they would say that, but like right after World War II, they would still
Well,
sin.
yeah, obviously,
But-
like after the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
generations, like that knowledge dies out.
If for some
Sure, there's,
reason
like,
morality changed for some, like,
yeah, and then there'll always be like that word of mouth where people
No,
like
that's-
lived there,
yeah,
and it
exactly.
would like pass down through generations. But then that would be like a folk tale, you know?
Mhm.
It'd be like there's a rumor that this happened, but there's no evidence because they gathered it all and they burned it.
Like right now, maybe not right now, but 100 years from now, people our age might be taught in school that, you know, the Nazis liberated the world
Yeah.
from pitchfork horned Jews. Which,
Or if you
which
think about
is
it now,
scary
like
truth.
it becomes even worse now with the internet too, because if whoever controls the internet,
controls information.
yeah. So if you like, you know, like they could just, you know, make all the Russia thing with like Donald Trump or
Mhm.
whatever like look super real to people like a little bit in the future of like didn't even hear rumors that it wasn't even real. And then just don't question it because it's history.
have
like,
you guys heard of deep fakes?
Yeah.
I think they've been able to do deep voices, so they're
can-
able
yeah.
to replicate a voice, which is terrifying because then you can
You can make anyone say
make
anything.
anyone say something that would just, you know, cancel them, get them
And they're
canceled.
really hard to prove wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Truth is going to be a harder and harder commodity to come by.
Mhm.
But like what we're talking about right now is like the book 1984, right?
Mm.
Where whoever's in charge gets rid of history and adds history to their liking to fit their narrative whenever
Mhm.
they want to. And we can probably see this in like past history too of cultures doing this probably.
Yeah.
I can't pull exact story out, but yeah, I know how we got here. What do we do from here? History. We're a history podcast now, I guess.
Well, Nero just like he blamed the big fire of Rome on the Christians.
Mm-hmm.
It's their fault. And I guess now it's kind of common knowledge that I don't even know the whole story behind that, so I'm not going to talk on that
No.
anymore. But like,
I do.
enlighten us, Aiden.
No.
Okay. What are you doing? Are you trying to rock yourself to sleep?
He's waiting for
He's
Kyle.
got like his affirmations going in his head right now.
I'm a good history teacher.
I can do this.
He's manifesting.
I'm just tired and I'm not feeling it today.
Does someone want some good tacos?
No, I don't really want to go to Steve's anymore.
Oh, I have a question I want to ask Matthew.
Okay.
So, Matthew, I have this problem, okay?
Mm.
I'm in Valley. All the girls have left. Okay. Is that a
Matthew's
solved?
not the right person to go.
This is a bad question, actually, but
No, I want to ask you
ask
because you're
away.
like me in a way. So, is there hope in Denver?
No.
He's moving to Denver.
sure. Sure. You got to try. You got to try. That's key.
We asked Matthew the other night, like, are there any beautiful women that go to your church, Matthew?
The simple answer was no.
There's a lot of beautiful women that party. But does that make them beautiful?
Ooh.
No. Their souls are dirty.
As Nana says, your insides and outsides got to match, man.
Mm-hmm. It's like green energy on the outside. Looks all pretty. On the inside, it's all dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys heard about that with
Yeah.
the cobalt?
Oh, I don't really care.
You don't care.
Wow, bro.
But yeah.
But aren't you a history teacher?
This is present, not past. I don't want to teach kids about fossil fuels and natural gas. So
All right, well, let's wrap this up because obviously we're running out of ideas here. Matthew, if there's someone thinking about going to college that's a Christian, what would you tell them? What are some... I mean, I think they've probably already gained a lot of insight from your story, but if you could tell them something in a few sentences, what would it be?
Going into college, are we talking just... I'm just going to answer this.
How do they stay
as
a
any
follower
odd
of Christ? I feel
Well,
like?
no one can hold you accountable but yourself. Mommy and daddy ain't going to be there.
Mommy and daddy aren't here to coddle you anymore. Okay? You're on your own. Learn some independence. Okay?
he's so mean.
No, I'm being honest.
Sorry.
No, learn some independence. Find a good group of Christian people or a good group that is going to uplift you isn't going to take you to all these parties and, encourage you to do all these, do drugs, drink, that's bad. Okay.
Okay, Matthew, but are you happy with your Christian circle in Boulder?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I went to this worship night one time, or I told you guys about this.
Mm-hmm. Because from like the stories I've gathered, I feel like you don't really like it.
I like the small group.
Okay.
The big worship group.
It's
wasn't
just not it.
wasn't me. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah. That's another thing, I guess. It's just like there's a lot of different kinds of like people, Christians, and how they display their Christianity, I guess.
Yeah. What I think is also important is there was a time, not recently in college, where I just felt alone.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes being alone, you got to be comfortable with being alone, because you got to have a mind that encourages you. Because if you're alone and you have a mind that discourages you, it's going to send you in a wave of depression, and it's not going to help. Because sitting there and moping, it doesn't help anything. That's what I did for 2 weeks. My grades did not do well. Wasn't happy. So just try and live joyfully. Just don't sit around and mope, and just keep your head up, because that's what's going to make you into a warrior. Any guy can carry around a gun, but a warrior is built in the mind.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Deep. Get that mind strong.
Get that mind strong.
Iron sharpens iron.
But also
You
go
can
to the
see it around
gym.
you.
And go to the gym. Stay fit.
Stay fit.
If you're
With
not
that
fit, you're
being
gonna
said,
die.
thank you guys for watching, listening, subscribing, smashing the subscribe button,
And buying some merch.
and
Licking that like button.
It's getting strange.
actually try to tap with your nose. The nose is like a third hand.
Guys, let's see if you can hit that subscribe button with your elbow. Only 1% of people can do this.
Did I swear someone's gonna try it right now? If you tried it, you know who you are. But comment down below. We need some questions for next episode.
What if they're already subscribed and they're like, you know what?
They just
I'm gonna-
unsubscribe.
If God
Unsubscribe.
doesn't want me to watch this podcast, I'm gonna try with my elbow.
We're gonna check. There's like 400 subscribers now. Anyways,
Oh,
Matthew, thanks for being on.
yes. It was great. It was good being on again.
Everyone pray for Matthew at college. And if you need any prayer, let us know too. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Jesus. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is